Jager and Focke-Wulf TA-183 had held off US bombing long enough into 1945 for the huge new underground factories and synthetic oil plants to come into production. Imagine. It is just after dawn on the morning of April the 20th, 1946, the Führer's birthday. A Horten HO-18 jet bomber of Kampfgeschwader 200, the Luftwaffe's best bomber wing, takes off on the most important mission of World War II. It is piloted by the Luftwaffe's best bomber pilot, KG200's commander, Werner Baumbach. Baumbach has long advocated airstrikes against the Panama Canal and New York, using one-way flights by conventional bombers whose pilots would bail out and be rescued by U-boats.
He spent a lot of the war trying to persuade Goering to bomb New York. One of the interesting stories about the German war effort is why they never did. Baumbach's first idea was to take Focke-Wulf Condors and fly one way to New York and Washington, bomb America, then ditch the aircraft south, probably in the Caribbean, and be picked up by U-boats. Goering took the plan to Dönitz, but Goering and Dönitz hated one another, and they fell out, and so the plan came to nothing. So Baumbach then went on trying to find ways of bombing New York, and it's interesting to speculate that if something like the Horten wing had been available, it would have given him for the first time a machine to get there and get back non-stop.
Today, Baumbach's target is 3,000 miles away. The world's largest city, New York. In 1942, President Roosevelt put New York's mayor Fiorello LaGuardia in charge of America's civil defense against German bombing attacks. LaGuardia organized machine guns placed on top of high buildings in New York. But Baumbach's bomber is flying at an altitude nearly 10 miles high and is invisible to American radar. No one hears or sees it as it passes over Manhattan at 8 a.m. local time. The morning rush hour has begun. Fortunately for New York, World War II ended while the Horten 18 was still under design. The successful HO-229 jet fighter was brought to the United States in 1945, but its revolutionary potential was not realized. It lay forgotten for 40 years in the Smithsonian. Or almost forgotten. In the early 1980s, engineers from the Northrop Corporation pay a visit to the HO-229 at the National Air and Space Museum's Gruver facility in Maryland. They are secretly building a stealth bomber for the US Air Force. After their visit to the HO-229 prototype, Northrop engineers will design the B-2 Spirit. A design eerily similar to the Horten brothers' dream